Hey there, everyone. GleeCon is here and is back in the house. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you like what you see. This is a show called Lore of Warcraft, where I try and cover everything in the World of Warcraft universe on screen with you, whether that is media, like all of the books and videos and manga and side stuff, canon and non-canon alike, or whether it is in-game. The in-game stuff, of course, being every quest, every single quest, no matter how trivial, as well as all of the dialogue and in-game lore things that exist in the game. We also codify it and put it on sheets to share if you check the links. And you can get a similar service if you check out my Patreon. So go ahead and see that service, which is for Assassin's Creed. I do the same thing for that franchise. If you like what you see today, like, subscribe, and tell every single person that you've ever met in your life. Today we're going to wrap up. We've been on hiatus for a while. We'll talk about the adventures of real life, of GleeCon IRL on our journeys today. But we should be wrapping up Feralas on our long play through every single part of Classic Era. This is our Alliance character, a Rat Paladin. After we finish this, I think we'll finish the zone today. And then we'll do the same service starting tomorrow, probably, for the Horde. First, it's going to take a little bit of settling in as we try to figure out where we were at. I think there's a quest to turn in here because we flew from Darnassus or someplace far away. So, things to still do for sure. Lathendrus' Web is a Dire Maul. We don't need that. And Elven Legends also tied to Dire Maul. So we're going to begin with turning in Return to Troyas. It's like we have some turtle things, because one of the last things we did, that reminds me, is we did the Alliance's version of Gamorita, which actually begins in Feralas, so that's a little annoying to have to go to Hinterlands via Feralas, and you only have to take a picture of Gamorita, but I killed her anyway, just because I am a cruel individual. Well, she does turn hostile, and it is an elite, so you get a chance at some loot. Alright, so here is Troyas Moonbreeze. Now, what was his quest all about? We had done a mission to get a book from Stronghold, from the village out here, the Ruthven village, from this person. And I don't remember why, what it was all about. I guess we're going to figure that. I just remember we had to get a book for this guy.
I am listening.
It's called Feralas, a History. Hello, Contessa. Have you been to Darnassus?
You have brought a book along. Excellent.
I don't remember what she had us go do. We had to do something for that. I don't think it was in Hinterlands. We also had to go to Hinterlands to get our baby dragon. So we did take our little baby sprite darter, and it might have just been getting that picture. I think we maybe had to go to Gadget Zan or something like that and get the picture. We had to go borrow a camera, then go get the picture, then go turn it in. I think that might have been what we had to do for the book.
This stave might be the Stave of Equinex. The Stave of Equinex is actually a key used to unlock the Equinex monolith in the ruins of Ravenwind on the mainland west of the Dreambow. Find the 4 flames that still burn in those ruins: Sama, Imbel, Bilton, and Lhasa. Retrieve their essence, and then, while standing by the Equinex monolith, use the essences to energize the stave. If this is truly as the Stave of Equinex, you will be able to unlock the monolith and gather a sacred artifact from it.
Alright, so also, before he started that monologue automatically through the voiceover mod we use, he says, a history. Let me examine this for a moment. Troyas Moonbreeze skims the pages of the book. Amazing, I think I have found it, Contessa. So now I'm recalling more and more. I do know we had to go up here and fight some harpies. It's possibly tied to the Isle of Dread stuff. We did have to go explore. Well, I think fighting the Naga was just a thing. Yeah, if the boat is there, you can take the boat. Otherwise, no point. I don't even know if it's worth mounting up to get to the shore. We're going to swim over here. All right, so now we have... We're going to go to the shore here, but... We have some... plannings out to do. So first, let's go to that spreadsheet I talked about. We just completed the quest, Return to Troyas. So we had also picked up one of our Maraudon quests. We'll probably pick some of those up. Nah, maybe we will. We'll see how time goes today. All right, so this was, there we go, Return to Troyas. So let's see what we have going on. Oh, I'm underwater. I think there's something with my little pitch and yaw that's happening. All right. So we still have to do the To the Top repeatable quests because we have not done this region. That's basically what's left. This is blacked out because it's Dire Maul. The only people that quest up there are some Horde, but we'll get that eventually when we pick up this other Dire Maul quest. All right, so that's all Horde. Boom, boom, boom. We did our chicken, so we did find the final chicken, rescue it, and then go to Booty Bay and get our own pet robotic chicken. So if you look in here, we have a mechanical chicken. We also have our baby sprite darter egg. Can't do that while moving. The boat just left. Must have been en route. Okay, so we've done that. We did the relic against Shelzaru. That was the finale, the culmination of fighting the Naga. So really, that's a pretty easy half of that if you want to do part of the zone earlier. Okay, and then we had the Writhing Deep. So eventually we did have to go into... Yeah, I skipped this. This missing courier led us to... that was part of a series here that led us to the High Wilderness, the boat wreckage, all of this stuff, where we basically found out that this courier was missing. The Gnolls were somehow involved. We fought some, maybe. And then there was more Silithid. So we went in there and fought the little... these guys. We also think we might have freed him from that cave, so we lived, and we are then considered heroes. Okay, we also then did a side part right here where we talked to some people. It's kind of an out-of-the-way quest, and you end up freeing some sprite darters from this camp. You kill some of the Grim Totem, and then you do a chain that takes you eventually up through the Shimmering Flats and into Hinterlands, where you get your baby sprite darter, and you have to do some things, incubate it, do a potion, yada yada yada. And then the Borrower, that's the other part, that's the part I was talking about where we had to, I don't remember why we are doing all of this business, but obviously it has something to do with this stave. I don't remember if we picked up the initial information down there, if it was the start of a quest, but we're going to wrap up that quest line. We also did the Zap Giants and Fuel for Zapping, and we did the second half, the repeatable, where we did it twice. I'm pretty sure if you look at our thing, we did, yeah. So we did the repeatable mountain stuff too. It's really elementals and seed giants. Okay, so pretty good. So what do we have left? We have we also did the Sunken Temple and Stone Circle. That was in Darnassus. So that's just a breadcrumb part that leads us to a pickup quest we can get to when we do Sunken Temple. All right, so all we have to do is finish this improved quality and pristine perfect Yeti hide, which we're going to do right now. We have the... All right, so that's enough for me to look at. So it's pretty short. I think we will be able to pick up. So we have to do the Yeti hides. That's what we're going to go do right now. Then we'll go pick up this giant guardian, and there's a second quest that goes with it. We will get these little essences. We'll also do To the Top. I'll show you that repeatable quest while we're up there. And we'll do that basic little loop right now, and that will not take us the normal length of a long play for us. So we'll culminate the episode by heading up into Desolace and picking up the various quests on the exterior of Maraudon, which is pretty fun. And then I will not be doing Maraudon now. I won't be doing it in the next couple days. We'll finish Feralas first. But then we'll do an alliance run of Maraudon. I'm pretty good. I've done it a few times now, a couple times. All right, so These guys, before I continue on, they all can drop the Rage Scar Yeti, but some of them can also have a random drop at the Ferocious Yeti hide. So we want to try to kill those. The drop rate is somewhere in the ballpark of about 1 in 3. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Of the regular Yeti hides. But a Pristine is a repeatable drop quest you can get from these guys. I'm just kind of kiting this one. Okay, so we did not get what we wanted. I have not really had much bad luck. I got the Pristine drop early when I did this my first time through, and the second time through I got, I maybe had finished the quest, and then I got a couple. I had to kill 2 or 3 more, so that was terrible. We're going to be doing both. Yeah, again, it is a repeatable quest. You know, maybe you get a little Darnassus rep for it. It's repeatable. It's repeatable on both factions. We're not doing so hot so far. That's some kind of lead effect they had on me. I could have used our Luffa that we got in Searing Gorge. But anyway, yeah, so the Maraudon that I was talking about, I've done it a couple times recently very thoroughly. I've had really good experiences. People, it's very rare that people want to take the time and do a really thorough walkthrough run. So, in my experience, you had a couple people that are just like, you know, wanting to do what you're used to seeing, like, we just want to run the dungeon as fast as possible. That's just not how I play the game, but I understand that's what a lot of people get for it. I've read good arguments for it on Reddit, you know, most of the time. You're looking for, if you're looking, for instance, for cooperative raid experience, or and just making yourself as powerful as possible, then all you need to do is generate gold. Okay, we got our first Yeti hide, so much worse than 1 in 3 so far, but that's probably, that we could chalk that up to bad RNG. We're gonna fight our way into this cave. I see some mithril right here. I don't know if we still need mithril as we're leveling up our blacksmithing. If we can make, yeah, our mithril spurs are still green, so I feel like I will take mithril. Okay, yeah, boom, we just got a second hide. I'll take it. I'll take the mithril. I won't say no to it. What we really need is... There's more mithril. What we really need is thorium. That's the real way to make money right now. Or not make money. Make our hay. Make our points. So all of these ferocious ones, I guess, technically have a chance. In my experience, as you go deeper into the cave, you'll start to fight like some of these elders, and they have a better drop rate on the basic one you're going for. The lead. Leads what get you. And we could, you know... Oh, that was good. We got a crit. Really, it's, I can see why I don't want to fight 2 at my current health level. I can see why people, like, bag on the rat pallies. They really are weak compared to some of the others. When it comes to straight DPS, like my feral... Okay, so I'm 55. My feral druid that I have on Horde is 57. Alright, so a couple levels higher. But she will routinely crit for like 1500. As opposed to this guy's 55. 750 was my crit I just hit. And you're stacking it with a couple other things like, you know, Thorn and the clear casting, whatever it's called, Omen of Focus or whatever. And like, yeah, oh, you have buffs. That's cool, but I need that buffs to be able to even compete, to even be at the 750. So apparently this elder is not clocking in as having a chance of dropping that hide that I need. For whatever reason. I don't know. I'll go ahead and eat some of my food after this one since I'm kind of low on all my stats. Health and mana. I don't know why this one is saying it can't drop. But it did, so don't listen to that thing. Here's the quest, Pristine Yeti Hide. You found a pristine Yeti hide that is exceptionally thick and sturdy, more so than even the ones you've seen from the Yeti and Rage Scar. Considering that Pratt McGrubbin at the Feathermoon Stronghold is in the market for Yeti hides, this particular one may be of considerable interest to him. Just going to give you 70 silver and some points or whatever, but that is the pristine. It's called perfect if you are Horde. So we just picked up the pristine Yeti hide quest. Perfect. It's a little drop quest. That is a repeatable drop. If you cannot have two at once though, so if you do plan on doing more with it or coming back and farming, I guess you could farm this. Or if you're just like farming XP for levels, like they're pretty solid even at this level with rested XP. We're getting 400 XP each. Not too bad. You could just add that back in, but it's a little bit of a hike back to Feathermoon. I don't know that I would. It doesn't seem like the most efficient way to do something, but it's really just more like a little icing on the cake. So if you're going to see it like that, sure. Going deep into this cave. And then, yeah, so after we finish this zone, we will... This is honestly the longest part that we're going to have to do, because this is the only one that has real RNG elements to it. We'll get lucky to have some bursts. We already had the most difficult, or most tricky part kind of taken off, so not that worried about it. Okay, well, we're going to fight a ferocious one. Let's see what we got here. That doesn't work. What I'm gonna do is blast my stun on him. Okay, we finally got a third hide and drained a lot of our mana in the process. Alright, Rage Scar Yeti. I mentioned before I was going to need to rest up. I didn't because we spent some time reading quests. I would like to use that because I'm not actually doing holy damage. So when you use Judgment of the Crusader, it increases holy damage taken. And when I have the Sanctity Aura, it increases holy damage taken. But when I'm not using Seal of Command, I'm not doing additional holy damage. So it's kind of a waste. Alright, we're going to go ahead and eat this cured ham steak. Oh, I have some Mage Wheat bandages I can use too. And I guess we'll drink one of these moonberry juices that we have. Could have gotten myself a well-fed buff, but... I'm going to put one of these in the bank. I don't need both. They're both tricky to get. Well, I guess you could argue the mechanical chicken is harder, but I'd say probably the sprite darter is more rare because it's just a very it's really obscure to get. So first of all, you have to basically have Questy because this person is so nestled right there, and then you have to do a not super easy kind of escort adjacent quest right here, and then or you do first you do a kill quest, then you do the escort quest. Then they send you someplace. Oh, see, I can't get the second one. I would have got a second Pristine. But we did get our 5th Yeti hide. So you do that, and I think you have to go to Darnassus to turn it in. But then they don't give you more. You would have to, on your own, without any indication that you should, after dropping in Darnassus, revisit these guys again to see that a new quest had opened up. And that quest would lead to this not, globe traveling quest where you also have to have a specific potion that you buy from, you're either an alchemist and make it, your guild members buy from the people in the square, or you're buying from auction house, which is what we did. Not super crazy, maybe it cost us a few gold, I don't remember. There's probably some mod I can get out there that will make, like, when your buffs are about to expire, really blink. What is this? Scorpashi Brett. Ooh. That's a pretty solid leather breastplate. 17 agility, 8 stamina, 4 spirit. It's pretty solid. I could probably post that one on the auction house. Although people never buy my stuff on the auction house. Waste of time. Just sell it to someone in the marketplace. Alright. I just feel like it's a pretty cool piece of gear. That's a high... Alright, so for a level 44 item, I guess 17 agility, 8 stam. The 4 spirit kind of kicks it. That does nothing for anyone. But that's a pretty solid... I mean, druids don't need spirit at all, really. It's okay. And the other person that's going to wear that exclusively at this level would be a rogue, who also don't need spirit. Not really at all. So... then you could potentially... Like a shaman would be okay with that. Like, I'd take that but by then you can wear mail. And then hunters don't really need spirit very much at all. Okay, up to 8 hides. So... Seems a little bit... unoptimized, non-meta. So now I'm taking it away. And you know what? Maybe 18 agility on a chest piece at this level maybe is not so good. Alright, I've talked myself out of it. Now I feel like screw it. We only need one more hide. We have to kill at least 1 or 2 more to get out of here. Since I got ourselves so deep in this little cave, but I felt like, why not? Gives us something to do. Exploring the cave. Okay. Alright, that one didn't drop it anyway. So now we, at most, are going to maybe have 1 extra Rage Scar Yeti. These are, I think, the babier ones, so the drop rate's worse. And as I said before, where I was like, oh, it's about a 1 in 3. That's maybe with the good ones inside. These guys probably are worse. Also notice I'm not using Consecration. Got a 3rd. So... Alright, we'll blow this guy out of the water real quick. We're going to use full. We're not going to be conservative on mana because we're about to hit the road for a little while. Oh, he resisted. What a jerk. Resisted my stun like a little jerk. Alright, so now we're not going back to Feathermoon yet to turn that in. So what we're going to do now is start the journey up to the Giant Guardian. Now the Giant Guardian is another one of these quests that you would just sort of discover along the way. As you are making your way up, I think we had to kill some harpies once already. Actually, I don't think we did. Maybe we will end up having to go... Actually, this might be what makes us kill the harpies. I don't know. There's harpies up here, and I think you gotta kill them. Maybe it comes from here, from the Giant Guardian. So this is the last little pocket we really haven't done, is over here by these harpies. This is why I do not like Feralas. This it's not as bad, but this little road. I'll just go right off road already. But we need to do this little pocket of quests. This will be 2 quests. This, and then on the way back, we'll hit up to the top and then decide how we want to pick up the quests. We can fly or walk. I might just decide to walk. Dang it, I can't walk. So yeah, again, for this one, I guess you would just find it if you were, yeah, if you just happen to come in like, oh, here's a green giant that you can talk to. The giant guardian.
I am no good, Contessa. I was supposed to be watching over my little friend Shay, and somehow she got away from me. I'm not all that sure what happened, really, but last time I saw her, we was walking through the ruins just north of here. Everything was going fine, but then I turned around and she was gone. Now I just can't quite figure out what I should do here. Got any ideas, Contessa? I'm awful worried. Hey, how about you go look for Shay? Your legs can travel much faster than mine.
Alright, so the giant guardian picked up. Pretty sure this is a neutral quest. I lied. This is alliance only. Okay, so the Horde doesn't even get to do this little piece here. Alright, so we're going to go pick it up and find Shay. She's up here among the... It's perfect because we have to go up there anyway. She's among all of these little braziers that we have to put out with our stave, or we have to like absorb the fire of the brazier or something like that. I don't know. We're going to pick her up first because I think... Or talk to her first because I think she might give us the harpy killing. And we might end up having to kill some harpies anyway while we are finding these braziers. We're just going to do it that way. But basically the braziers kind of circle the area. And then you have to charge up at the very end right here once you have it all powered up. So we're kind of walking past some of the areas that we need to eventually interact with. Ow. Just got lightning in the back. But it's all good. Surprised it didn't dismount me. You just touch anything stone and there she is. Okay, so she's kind of hiding up here.
Oh, I'm so glad you found me. I must admit I am a bit lost. But isn't this a beautiful place?
Yeah, so beautiful. Alright, so we've done the giant guardian, and that's going to pick up Wandering Shay. Maybe this is an escort, maybe it sounds like it, but I don't think so.
Do you think you could help me find my way back to my friend, Rockbiter? He was supposed to be watching me, but I do have a tendency to wander off now and then. There are just so many things to see, and I get so distracted. There is one thing that will always work to get my attention, though. Inside this chest, you'll find a bell that is very precious to me. I just love the sound of it. You have my word. If I wander off, all you have to do is ring it and I'll come running back.
Don't forget to get my bell out of the chest here, and remember, if I do happen to wander off, just ring it and I'll find you again. Ridiculous. This is an example of a fool here. Alright, so we're getting this bell from her, and now we're gonna just make our way back. Come on, Shay. Are you sure this is the right way? Maybe we should go this way instead. You ding-dong, what are you doing? See, then she just runs off with her dumbbell. Okay, come on. So I guess she'll follow you pretty good. At least she doesn't do her own path. Maybe. I really thought there was a quest where we had to kill some harpies. Could be. I guess I'm wrong about that, though. getting busted in the side of the head. She's getting concussed by Shay there. Maybe there is a quest to kill these, or maybe, I don't know. I don't think I know. Could you help me find my dog? So that means we're going to have to come back up here for the braziers. The braziers are pretty easy. You can get them, like, this is quite an adventure. So, yeah, it's a 30-second cooldown on her. On her bell work. So, we really can't. We can't ring it very often. Now it's available again. So I would say if it's available, you better... I would be prepared to have to use it on her. So we are now back in the vicinity. We're getting close. It's not too bad. Yeah, we killed one harpy. We had to ring this bell once. Oh, now we're going to be aggroing this bear. Maybe not. Okay. Did aggro a bear. Shay Leaf Runner. Oh, but you have time. You've only got 15 minutes. That's another added wrinkle to it. Gotcha. And you've got this little bell with a 30-minute cooldown to ring it. She does put that dazing, which is pretty nice. Cool. She's gonna be confused. I wonder what's over this way. You're deaf, you fool. And there's some big old wolves right there. Wolves, bears. Oh my. Okay, let's turn in, shall we? There we go. Oh, here you are, Rockbiter. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to wander off.
I'm so glad you're back, Shay. Please don't ever run off like that again. What would I tell your parents if I lost ya? I was getting worried about ya. Thank you so much for bringing Shay home, Contessa.
Maybe because it's a night elf, that's why it's alliance.
What? You say this spell will work when Shay runs off? Well, how about that? Since you did so much for me, here you go, Contessa.
I can get a 15 strength plate, but it is worse than mine because even though mine's only 12, got another 14 attack power and stam and armor. And then this cinch is a nice strength. It's actually 1 point stat-wise better, but it's half the armor. Okay. There goes. She disappeared. Probably should use that bell again, buddy. And now we have that little twofer done. Wait for us. Alright. And now we're going to go up here and do the braziers for real. Perfect. Perfectin' Schlagen. And I don't know what we do with this mystical stave. I can't remember exactly. I started doing some Fellwood quests right before the old trip, and I have been working on that. That's going to be our next zone after Maraudon. So we do have Fellwood coming up in our life, and it's so far so good. Not too shabby. It's the beginning of the penultimate tier of power.
It's too far away.
Okay, so we have to charge up our staff right here. Okay, so that was the built-on essence. Kind of have to do a loop, and some of these things are a little bit weird and like higher than others from an elevation perspective. That one, I knew I was going to aggro him, but okay, so all right, maybe I should have gone the other way. Might find ourselves in some hot water here because I'm going to run through these harpies. I know some of them are kind of weird. At least one of them you have to find your way up. Yeah, this one. You gotta kind of go around and find a way to get on top of that structure. And I think I had to do some jumpings. Yeah, this bad boy right here. So this is definitely the weirdest one. You've got to get up on this little mount, unless, I mean, this is how I did it. And then jump over. And then you have to continue to rinse and repeat. Oh, crud. Probably should get off the horse. Then you gotta kind of keep going higher. Yeah, time to get off the horse. Or maybe you can get up this way? I don't know. There's a few different ways. I'm sure that people can... Oh, cool. It's not my internet, so it's just the game was probably like, whoa, you're standing right in a crack. We can't be having that. Freak out. You broke the code by getting wedged right in there. Exactly what happened. Dang it. So you can get yourself a little bit of lift here if you jump from vertical to lower. But then yeah, you run the risk of over jumping. Oh. So I didn't jump all the way off. There we go. Alright, so now we can get the second fragment. This is going to be the Samha essence. 2 of the 4 braziers as we charge up this equinox. Okay, there's one to the north. We'll go up here. Each of these are like a little runes. And I don't know why these braziers are there. They said... What did they say about it? Yeah, they don't really explain it. They just say that the flames still burn in these ruins. This is the Imbel essence. And we will use the essence of these braziers to charge up this stave. Maybe that did come from the Naga in the beginning, because there was some kind of rune or something that we got from that Naga guy. So maybe this is all tied back to the Naga. I can't quite remember. This is the last one. We're gonna have to fight for this one. Wind Caller North Spring. Great, we'll have to fight 2. No worries. We got this. Especially since we know we're not doing sustained fighting, so we can be as harsh as we want to be. Pump that mana. Alright, so this is the final one. This is the Lhasa essence. So they're all formed from some kind of stones, and then now we've got to go over to this little statue. Whatever. Okay, and we're gonna charge up the Stave of Equinex at this place, and then I'm guessing we're gonna have to bring it back to Feathermere. We're gonna have to double fight again. Someone's about to aggro on. So it goes. Alright, so when we do start some flying, which we'll have today, I will regale you from time to time with my adventures, because I have been gone a while, and we should probably address a little bit of what we did. So, it says that the Equinex monolith stands silently among the ruins. What could it be holding? So you can press Quest where I think you can go in here, and you can click this Troyas' staff, and it will energize if you are right here. Okay? Then you click this. Holding the energized stave is almost impossible. Its power rumbles through your body. You reach out to the cold surface of the Equinex monolith. A small door opens. allowing you to reach in and take the artifact inside. Beams of light fill the area around the Equinex monolith, and this will give us a sparkling stone. So this is the Morrow Stone. This is pretty much the last quest. Okay, so we're going to complete the Stave of Equinex, and my guess is pick up the Morrow Stone to go turn that back in to Homeboy. The moment the artifact is removed from the monolith, you feel the energy in the Stave of Equinex begin to fade. Okay, so we used it to open up this monolith, and we got that little stone. And we got the Stave of Equinex also, so we have both. Okay, so now we have a couple things to turn in, but before we do that, we're going to take a little sojourn to the top. To the top of ye old twin colossi. So the twin colossals there are two mountains in the north of the land. They are notorious in the region, infamous. Here's one of them, and they're like plateaus, basically. So, at the foot of them, maybe in between them, is a person, a night elf. And they will give you a repeatable quest, but the whole point of the quest is just to be able to get a view from the top of these two giant plateaus that kind of sit on the entire region. This region of bears and apes, sprite dragons, night elves, and stone giants really over here. I guess we did not have to specifically kill those harpies. Maybe we already did that on another mission. I don't recall. But I'm pretty sure we are it's going to be a wrap on this zone. Alrighty, so if you look, here's the other one to the right. So these twin colossals are two giant, unscalable plateaus. We talked to Marley Wishrunner here.
Ishnu, the land of Feralas has been through much, person. The earth, the trees, the creatures, they are all changing what Feralas is and will be. The twin colossals above us remain as a constant, though, throughout all that has happened here.
So the twin colossals here is also a level 25 quest. They don't want anyone who's actually in the zone to get XP from it.
Would you like to see the view atop one of the twin colossals? I can send you there, person. Do consider how you will get down, though. This is a one-way trip only.
And that is true, what she says. So we are now at the top of one of the twin colossals. We're at the top of the right one. I don't think that there's a way you can get to the top of that one, not without flying, so maybe once you get to Burning Crusade, it's possible. You can fish up here, and I think there's some solid fishing. Let's go ahead and mark this off the quest. That's the easiest, lowest level quest in the zone. We'll do it again on the Horde as well. Pick it up and complete it. So I really think everything is done now, because if you look at the blue, we did that. We're about to turn in those two. We did those. The only thing is we're going to turn in Morrow Stone, and we've done all the rest. So, yep, it's just a matter of turning in. So you have a couple different options here. There is, of course, you could just jump off and die. If you are a mage, you could strategically use a Featherfall or levitate. You can, and I did do this on one of my other characters, you can strategically fall, looking for places of water. I think I did it once successfully, and I did it once resulting in death. One other option you can do, and that's to talk to Kaelin Windflight here.
To get down safely, I provide wings to those in need.
Costs 20 silver. It's called a Colossal Parachute. It only lasts for 20 minutes. So there's some ways you could maybe gimmick this, but they basically did not want people to be able to have them. But you could potentially figure it out. So my guess, we're going to go down this side. Reduces your fall speed only for 10 seconds. So you're going to have to be careful about how you do it. 10 seconds goes by quite fast. But it was enough to allow us to survive that short side of the mountain there. So that's what I would do. Look for a the shortest side of the mountain that you can find, and whether you're going to use your slow fall or... And then I freaking died anyway. Alright, that was rough. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and... I don't feel like... I'm just going to take the... Let's hit this. Okay, it's going to make that an expensive side detour, but... we'll be able to repair. And the 10 minutes doesn't really matter because we're going to be traveling for 10 minutes anyway. As all we have left to do now is turn stuff in and go to Dire Maul. I mean, go to Darnassus. You know, aggro anything though right now while I'm in baby form. It would be ideal not to aggro. But what we need to do now is make our way over to the boat. If we're lucky and the boat is right there, great, we can take the boat. As is the case every time, that's pretty much the only time you ever want to take the boat is sitting right there about to take off. Even if it's pulling up, it's not worth waiting for it to sit there and then go. The worst boat in the game. It's really like they didn't want to have to work on the mechanics of making a boat do a tight turn, is what this is about, so they gave it a long path around, which is also probably why they made a channel in this island. In all honesty, it all probably comes down to those things. The channel probably exists to shorten the path of the boat. See, the boat is pulling up, but it is not quite here. So I'm not going to wait on it. Look, there's swimming across. They already know. Not worth the effort. 2 people swimming across. So it is just quicker to swim. Alright, so we'll do a little bit of turning ins. I don't know that there's much smelting. But we've got 3 quests to turn in. And then we're done with this zone. Let's see where we are on yeah, so I'm going to need to have space for all 3. And that's it. Cool. And then what we'll do is we will fly from Feathermoon up into Nigel's Point. We'll pick up the quests that are in Nigel's Point. We'll work our way down to Twisted Evils. We'll work our way down to the Troyas instructions. And then we'll kind of come near the Maraudon entrance. But we're not going to actually do it. There's no point if you can get someone that wants to participate. That's cool, but really the quests. Honestly, once we finish this, I'll kind of shift forward to talking it out about Maraudon. I guess we can start right now. So, Shadow Shard Fragments is the only one that's not picked up in Darnassus. It's picked up in Orgrimmar if you're Horde. If you are Alliance, as we are, you pick it up in, I want to say, maybe Menethil Harbor. It's either Menethil Harbor or it is Theramore Isle. It actually might be Theramore Isle. So that one's annoying, and it's also the lowest level, easiest quest to do. It's done in the exterior of the dungeon. When you go to Maraudon, if you're not familiar with it, there is an exterior, as is often the case. It's pretty extensive. It's one of the most extensive exterior dungeon places, certainly, that we've encountered so far. Ulduman has a pretty nice network, but I think this one is... I don't think I'm certain it is. Sunken Temple has one, but that has not... We've not technically done that on camera yet. So Wailing Caverns also has a pretty big one, but I would say still Maraudon follows in the veins of about half the dungeons. So about half the dungeons, maybe all of them, have exterior networks where you can start questing and cutting your teeth against some of the elites that are going to be similar to what you find in any given dungeon. But offer you a chance to do some quests. So, and some don't, like Razorfen Crawl. I mean, Ragefire Chasm, that doesn't do that, but that's because it's right there in Orgrimmar, and that's the really baby starter dungeon. Wailing Caverns absolutely does. You can do a whole
Greetings, adventurer.
episode.
If you're looking for leather goods and leather working supplies, you've come to the right semi-retired paladin.
All right, so first let's turn in that improved quality.
Safe travels.
Actually, you know what? Let's
Have
turn
a good
in the
one.
Pristine Yeti
See
hide.
you later.
What's this, Contessa? You've got something special for me.
Incredible! You may have found the granddaddy of all Yeti hides with this.
I did.
You better believe I'll pay you for it. I normally don't pay that much for a single hide, but I'm pretty sure I can make something special from it. Thanks for thinking of me on this, adventurer.
Yes. So we did complete. We don't need to check that one off on the other list. I usually do yellows after.
Safe
And you
travels.
do get some Darnassus rep 60. 66 because I'm human.
See you around.
If these Rage Scar Yeti hides are anything like the quality displayed by their Feral Scar counterparts, then they could very well be as resilient as Thorium. Imagine that.
Excellent, excellent. These are going to work out incredibly well. I can already tell that they're going to be much harder when properly cured. Thanks again for your help, adventurer. Here, please take one of my latest creations.
And this will give you, I guess, an idea. This is 7 agility, 6 strength, so that's about 13, which is 4 points less here, but it does give you 15 stam. So it's very similar to this. This is a little bit more damage focused, so I would say this is probably still better, the Scorpashi that we found.
See you later.
We also get 70 for that. So the improved quality completed. Boom, boom. And last quest to turn in this area. Oh, you know what? I do want to repair and sell. But let's turn in this quest first. Alright, buddy. What are you going to give me for this?
I'm glad you have returned, Contessa. I'm eager to hear of your findings.
I have been reading since you left, adventurer. This stone you have found is called the Morrow Stone. While I am not entirely sure what its purpose is yet, you can be sure that it is something of great significance to be hidden away inside the Equinex monolith the way it was. I will continue my studies, and I hope I will be able to count on you in the future, adventurer. Thank you for all your help.
Alright, so this is I don't even know who that's for. Strength and Spirit, maybe like a paladin or a shaman, but it's still meh. Significantly worse than our current rings. This wand we'll just get for the selling. But what's weird is, like, you get that, you do that whole thing, and then nothing comes out of that quest. So maybe we will figure out a way to, like, utilize the Morrow Stone at some point. Maybe it's part of some other lore I missed out on. Maybe they were gonna... Maybe it's some endgame stuff. Maybe they were planning on having it be endgame and it never worked out. I don't know. Alright, so... Let's see if... I think he can repair.
Greetings, adventurer. If
Yeah,
you're
so
looking for leather goods,
gold and
leather working
repairs,
supplies, you've come
8,
to the
that's
right
22.
semi-retired paladin.
77. Yeah, we sold a gold for the Scorpashi. We're still profiting here. Don't need those. Alrighty. Oh, I can sell those. That's pretty good too. What are we at right now on first aid? Oh, I only got one little pinch. I thought I had more. I thought those Yetis gave me more than that, but I guess not. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about cooking or blacksmithing or anything around here. Alright, so I'm going to continue to talk about Maraudon rather than my adventures, but, you know, sometimes we travel a lot, and we'll have some time, and I will tell you about my adventures. 15 days, traveling multiple spots abroad, But we're here for the game, not for the navel gazing. So let's talk about this. All right, so the extensive network outside of Maraudon is got a small central area that's sort of neutral, and it's where things kick off. So there is one main thing you want to do when you start there, and that is specifically if you're going to work with this Pariah's Instruction. Pariah's Instructions is the most annoying quest in the dungeon. I don't remember what it rewards you, but it's nothing. It's okay. Maybe it'd be good for a certain spec, but it's not anything great. But you need to kill the Pariah. The Pariah is a elite. Most of the mobs are not elite in the entrance to this first part, and he's an elite. It's an elite centaur. Pretty easy to isolate and attack on its own. Also, there is another quest coming up called, I believe it's this one, the Twisted Evils. You won't need help with Twisted Evils, but if you were trying to solo it in the easiest way possible, repeatedly killing that Pariah, because as soon as you kill, not the Pariah, the Lone Prophet or whatever it's called, the Lone Prophet has a pretty much 100% drop rate on these Thoradric crystal carvings that you need to pick up. Every mob pretty much has at least a 50% drop rate in the dungeon, and you will kill more than enough. So even if you did 15 times 5, which is 75, you're easily going to kill 150 mobs, because even the tiniest non-elite mobs drop them, and some drop more than one. I've never had an instance, and that's both within and outside of the dungeon. Any elites outside of the dungeon can drop it. So you'll have multiple opportunities to complete this, and that's if everyone was on the quest. Sometimes that is the case, but often one or two people have already finished it. So, but if you are trying to solo that, and if we are doing it at the end, we could choose, but at this level, we can handle soloing any of the elites, both within and out of the dungeon. So, honestly, some of the bosses we can solo. Even deep in, close to the princess near the end, which we can talk about, even that one we can solo some of that. But the main reason you want to kill it is because it drops this empty amulet. The empty amulet then needs 5 stones. 5 stones need to be collected from 5 different ghosts. The amulet allows you to target these normally non-hostile ghosts, and it will make them hostile. Killing them will allow you to get their amulet. So you then want to go a little bit further down, sort of out of the way, instead of branching off, because the exterior branches off into a purple side and an orange side, tied to a purple and orange side of the actual dungeon. We'll talk about this more too when we actually do this, but I'm just kind of setting the framework up if you wanted to. We could have an exterior episode only if we really wanted to. I like to start with the orange exterior side first, because I feel like the orange interior is more difficult. So the orange exterior, I want to say, has some basilisks. On the way, you also pick up this quest. I think it's the Seed of Life is the quest you pick up in the exterior. It's from a little dryad. We'll do that differently later. Let's go picking up our quest right here. So we're going to pick up Corruption of Earth and Seed today. By the way, I forgot to mark off this Morrow Stone. That one's done, baby. I got a copy of that. Okay, so this is going to be, there's some dryads. Mirandus' sister. This is Keeper Mirandus.
May Cenarius guide you, Paladin. I am here in this corrupt land with my sisters on a mission of great importance to the Cenarian Circle. With only those who are powerful enough, I ask, to speak to me about such matters. To send a lesser being would be folly.
So now we're back. We're powerful enough.
In the depths of Maraudon lives a creature of chaos and evil, Glicantessa. Princess Darnassus is an elemental force of earth related somehow to the old gods. Ages ago she was sought out by Zetar, first son of Cenarius. The offspring of their relationship are the creatures known as Centaur. Ever thankful creatures, the Centaur killed Zetar, and now Thoradrius keeps his remains. My quest here is to find those powerful enough to slay Thoradrius so he may recover Zetar's remains
before returning to Stone Town. And that is talked a lot about more. I implore you to go check out my episodes earlier, much earlier in the first 100, where we talk about this. But it talks about the birth of the Centaur. It talks about this land, how the Tauren first discovered it. It talks about Cenarius and how he did mate with Princess Theradris. Later on, we know that Theradris is actually like a primal, an earth primal, kind of. I don't remember if there is an actual old god taint. You can learn more of Theradris' story as she is an interactable character in Cataclysm. She runs the Deepholm region of Cataclysm, and there's an interesting quest line that continues her story. There is something that can drop from her that makes her, I don't remember what it is, but it makes her a very, very common princess run, is what people call. So you can, if you just wanted to do this quest for one of these three things, you could hop on. The Thrash Blade might be all it's for, because it's an extra, it's a double, you have a chance of getting a double attack. That's pretty sweet. I think that is, the proccing chance on that is enticing to a lot of builds. Resurgence Rod is also okay. The mana and health is meh. The bow here also probably pretty solid. It's a bow that basically has an extra chance to sting, increasing DPS overall. So pretty solid blues, and the run to her is very, very quick if you have a certain item, which we'll talk about. Many of you probably already know. That is called Corruption of Earth and Seed, and it's the kind of obligatory, we are going to do one last a quest to kill the final boss sort of thing. So that is that quest. There's always one of those. Oh, we did pick up both of these quests. So, if you go right, then within there, in the internal, you'll fight basilisks for the most part. You'll pick up that quest, and you will also have to fill a vial for a different quest. Actually, it might be for her quest. I can't remember. No, it's for this one, Vile Tongue Corruption, I think, that we're about to pick up right now. That one, you just have to do the entire dungeon, make your way to the end, and you kill the final boss. That's all we have to do for this one. Telendria here will give us a second Vile Tongue Corruption.
A satyr known as Vile Tongue has corrupted the caverns of Maradon, stunting the growth of many of the plants inside. Take this vial, adventurer. Fill it at the corrupted orange pool found inside the caverns. The coating inside the vial will counter the toxins, turning it into a healing agent. Find the vile stem vines inside the orange caverns and use the purified liquid on them. The corruption will be purged from the plant, but do know that Vile Tongue will still control it. He may use it against you.
Alright, so...
Good luck, friend.
The Contessa, please take a look at the sample of the vile stem vine that I took from the caverns so that you know what to look for. So this is your kind of giveaway. They look like this. They are not interactable, so that's her little hint. They are pretty obvious and pretty common when you are in Vile Tongue Corruption. That's perfect, because that's actually what I was just getting to talk about here. So the way that works is, so you go into the orange side, you'll encounter this woman that gives you a quest, Seed of Life. No, maybe it's actually this. Yeah, it's actually the Legends of Maraudon, where you'll find this little dryad, and she wants you to find the two parts of the scepters of Celebris, or Celebris, probably Celebris, the Celebrian Rod and the Celebrian Diamond, and then find a way to speak with him. So, because his mind is, like, tainted. So, that, if you want to do that quest, that is going to require you to do the majority of the both orange and purple paths of the dungeon. Again, I like to go orange first because it's more annoying, and you'll be able to tell right away if the group is going to wipe. If they can survive the orange, you will 100% make it through the rest of the dungeon, even the princess part. The orange part is much harder, most notably because there are slimes. So there are these poison slimes that are found almost nowhere else. They're pretty unavoidable in the orange part. There are also some packs you can easily overpull. Heavily dense plants that have some thorns, and the poison, the oozes will basically lock on and follow, but they're very, very slow, but they have an impossible to keep up with heal. They just constantly hit you with poison and acid damage. It's nature damage. It does a massive amount of damage. Your healer will not be able to keep up with it. So if your party is all melee, which I've done that with a full melee party before, it's extremely challenging. You need a skilled healer, and you need a lot of kiting. If you have ranged, it's much easier to deal with. If you can just slow and have ranged frost mages, hunters, it's a lot easier to handle. All right, we're going to talk to Willow here, who has another quest, and we'll keep talking as we go.
The crystal caverns of Taramak lie to the west, deep within Maradon. It is an ancient place with much history, and I'm looking to get my hands on some of it, adventurer. Relics of the old gods lie hidden behind the giant doors. If you are willing to brave the twisted evils found in Maradon, I believe I can make it worth your time. Collect the Theradric crystal carvings you find and return them to me. Once I get the carvings, I will be able to study them. These powers have been too long at rest.
This stuff, the gear is below what I have, unfortunately.
Dark Lady.
But it's a low level. Honestly, Marauding can be done a lot earlier than 55. I just like to be strong like this when I do it because it makes it smooth, it allows you to take the lead, it allows you to solo your way through the exterior, and it means that at no point will you, even when you're all the way up to the final boss, you'll have no problems with it. It's pretty easy. But you can easily bring like a low to mid group of 40s into this dungeon. Princess, I want to say, is around level 51, somewhere in that ballpark. So you really, if you want people able to hit the boss, you want them to be at least around level 45, but your healer can be lower. You could probably get away with bringing 1 DPS that's lower. Alright, so, that was the Twisted Evils. Let's pick that one up too. Alright, so as you continue through the orange exterior side, you'll get to that satyr. You will talk to her and pick up the quest. Then you can, right after her, fill up your vial that you'll need with the tainted orange waters. And there is also, in that exterior area, the second prophet. So you can get the second prophet. The first one that you find, like I said, is before it ventures off. You just go down, find the first guy, use the amulet on it, and then kill him and get your first of 5 gems. The second one is found in the exterior in the orange part. Okay, so you go ahead and do that. Then you can enter. I like to enter the orange portion of the dungeon at this point. I like to enter and then exit the dungeon. That's my favorite way to do this. Because you're going to have to do that anyway, and it reduces the chance of people being like, oh, the dungeon's done, last boss is killed, I'm bouncing. It allows you to clear everything as a group. I guess maybe that's a little bit cheap, but I usually advertise that I'm going to do a full guided run. So you go and you do that. There is the poison guys are rough. You'll see the third ghost that the pariah wants you to kill right away, but the way that he's the fourth. The fourth and fifth ones work is that they then start padding through their entire section. So the orange and purple section, they'll start padding as soon as you enter the dungeon. So you really have to pay attention, and you're gonna have, if you're planning on clearing your way through the whole thing, it doesn't matter. But for the orange one, for instance, we're not. So there's our pariah right here. He actually pats along this entire mountain chain. Someone must have just picked the quest up if he's just chilling like that, or I don't know. I've never found him this far back. I usually find him way down closer to the other side, but there he is. And we'll read his quest, and then we'll walk over to the area, and I'll resume this conversation on the next one.
I need no home to know I still have a place in this world, Paladin. The tribes will see. All of them. They fight amongst one another, and for what? Scraps left over by vultures. Lands infested by the Legion. Ah! The Centaurs should be proud of their heritage. It is just as noble as any night elves or orcs. It is time we started acting like it.
Pariah's instructions.
Though exiled as a heretic, my beliefs still ring true. That alone drives me onward. But for my destiny to be complete, I need the aid of an outsider, one not of any centaur tribe. The task requires someone to enter the holy halls of Maraudon, a tomb my people protect, and only the most devout are ever allowed to enter. You agree to aid me, then you need only nod. I will pass you a parchment with my instructions on it. Read it over and consider my words.
And we will do that. We will read his instructions. So we have gotten this, and so we've gotten 5, but there are 8. So the Legends of Maraudon you pick up inside, and that will turn into the Scepter of Celebris. The Seed of Life you will also pick up inside. So those are 3 quests that come from the inside. The Legends of Maraudon is gotten from that satyr I mentioned, and it helps you. It will task you with going through 2 parts. There is a water elemental who is a boss within, or some kind of poison elemental or something. That's a boss inside the orange sector. You have to get at least that far, and that will give you the first half of that. Either this, I don't remember which half, if it's the shaft or the rod or the gem. I don't remember which. I like to continue going. There is a second orange boss, Razor Lash. I like to take it that far to get the boss. It also helps clear the way to give more pat room to find. If you can get all the way that far, that's like 80% of the way through the orange part, maybe 90%. And that gives you a good chance of opening. It'll kill enough time to where that pariah, the prophet, or whatever the ghost that you need, he'll pat his way back to you from the end, and you can get a chance to kill him. It also gives you more opportunities to find easy targets for the Vile Tongue, the Vile Tongue Corruption. When you heal a vine, usually 2 to 3 of these little mobs will pop out of it. So you want it to be kind of cleared, the path to be kind of cleared so you can get there. And each one counts as a vine. So in reality, you only need to clear 3 or 4 of them. There are significantly more than that in the instance. Just some of them are annoying to get to, and you just want to ignore them. Like a few of them are just surrounded by the slimes. You want to fight as few of the slimes as possible, regardless of your party composition. They're just a pain in the butt. We're going to make our way to the entrance. So then I like to go up to Razor Lash, get that 3rd gem, then go. I like to backtrack, retrace my steps, go back out, and then do the exterior purple side. Exterior purple side, you'll find first, there's rock borers, and there are these little elements. The Shadow Shard elementals are where you get these from. The great thing about them is they have a 100% drop rate, and when everyone in the party can loot each time. So you really just need to kill 10 of them as a group. If you come in, you can probably solo them, even if you're like level appropriate. They're not that bad. Also on that side, you can find your 4th. It's really the 3rd, but you can find your 4th gem. Then that will open up. You'll go into the purple side of the instance within. There, in the purple part, the guy will be padding. The final one that you need for the pariah. He'll be padding around. He probably will have already started his padding. It's because we've already technically entered the dungeon. Here's the Maraudon entrance. Looks like a Theradris lady version, like a man version of that. Kind of weird elemental looking thing. Or maybe that's supposed to look like the princess herself. I don't know. But that's our queue. We're gonna kind of just park it here. Anyway, you follow that path. You fight a lot of satyrs on that side, and eventually you will fight the satyr, which will give you the second half of the staff. There might be a second boss in there. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But if you just keep going forward, it's an easier path. There's parts that you can skip. And then you'll find this sort of poisony, watery path where you can skip a lot of the mobs. And especially if you come from the purple side. And at the very end, you will find Celebris, some corrupted version of him, or some monster. I can't remember exactly, but he's a person, you fight him, and two things will happen. One, you can get the quest, the Seed of Life. Seed of Life is found from Zaytar's spirit. So Zaytar is a person that you will, maybe it's Zaytar, I mean, not Calibris. So you'll get Zaytar, who is Calibris' first son. You'll get his spirit. You talk to him. He'll give you the Seed of Life quest. If you have the 2 pieces to the staff, he will also allow you to complete that quest. And he will give you a quest called the Scepter of Calibris. By turning in Legends of Maraudon, he will give you a little bit of dialogue and stuff, and you can turn in and convert that scepter. And now you'll have the scepter. In the beginning, I said there's a central path. That central path, where you got the first gem, that's a lot of non-elites. At the bottom of it, near where the first gem is, there's actually a place where if you have a scepter, you can open a portal, and that portal will allow you to skip all of the purple and orange sides and immediately get to the waterfall. The waterfall is where you can essentially do speed runs to get to the princess. And we'll talk about that path and those final little quests when we prep that dungeon next time. For now, we're going to leave our character here, and we'll probably be out of sight from her for a week or so before we come back to do this dungeon. But we have another full zone. Feralas Classic as an alliance is completely done. And we just have to do it with Horde and then run Maraudon, and then we're fully 3/4 of the way through the game with just 2 tiers of zones left. I appreciate you. Again, thank you everybody so much for watching and for listening and for joining in with me. I hope that this was entertaining. I hope it was informative. I hope it was enjoyable. If not, like and subscribe anyway. Tell your friends, maybe they'll like it. Thank you everybody. For now, we got another episode in the old pipe. 5x5.